Today, I'm going to talk about the 5 reasons for your health that you should be drinking water, H2O, every single day. Number 1, hydration. Number 2, it lowers your appetite before a meal. Number 3, water flushes out toxins. Number 4, it keeps your kidneys working. And number 5, it keeps your mind sharp. All right, let's dive in. You ready? Okay. I'm going to go through this. And the reason number 1, hydration. Now, this might seem obvious to you, but our bodies are made out of 60% water, H2O. If you weighed 150 pounds, that means 90 pounds of you is actually water. That's about 11 gallons. Or if you want to actually translate that into the bottles of a beverage, that's 22-liter bottles of a beverage, your favorite beverage. Now, think about it. You have to maintain this amount of liquid in your body for your health every single day. Doesn't mean you have to drink it all. You're going to keep a lot of it with you. But we all lose about half of the liquid every day through urine, stool, and our sweat. And of course, that depends on how active we are. If we're exercising and sweating a lot, we're going to actually lose a little bit more. If we're going to the bathroom a lot, we're also going to lose a lot as well, whether that's urine or stool. Get diarrhea, you're actually flushing out a lot of water. And by the way, there is also evaporation from your skin, and you lose about another half gallon invisibly through the humidified air as you exhale, right? So, you go in front of a mirror, you go, right? You'll see that the fog on the mirror, that's water vapor that's coming out of your breath, all right? That part, the evaporation, the humidity in your breath, when you lose that, that's called insensible loss of water. You don't even know it. All right, so you lose 3/4 of a gallon of liquid every single day that you need to replenish. And drinking water is the best and easiest way to be able to do it. Now, there's water in food. For example, if you eat an apple, there's some juice in an apple. Or if you're eating a tomato or tomato sauce, of course, there's liquid in that. And if you're eating fish or chicken, right, there's water in the flesh itself. But that's not nearly enough to help you keep up with your hydration needs, what your body actually needs. So how much water should you actually drink for hydration? Well, it's not as easy an answer as you'd think, right? So like it used to be, drink 8 to 10 glasses of water a day and you'll be fine. Nope. In fact, different groups actually recommend different things. The U.S. Institute of Medicine, for example, recommends 10 to 15 cups of water every day. Not necessarily correct. If you're a big person, you might need more water. If you're a super active person at any size, you might need more water. So what I'm telling you is that you should drink just as much water as your body tells you to. Pay attention to your body's signals. If you feel thirsty, you're probably low on the water, go ahead and drink something, all right? And obviously, if you lose a lot of water, you could feel dizzy or lightheaded because you just don't have enough liquid in your body to keep up your blood pressure, all right? And you need that liquid in your circulation to be pumped to your brain, so you could be lightheaded as well. Then drink some water. There's no magic number that's right for everyone, all right? I know everybody wants to biohack and come up with their own unique number. Listen, I would tell you, rather than count cups of what you're drinking, here's a simple trick to kind of know how well you're doing on a hydration level, all right? This is sort of like in every person's approach. Doesn't require any technology. Number 1, look at the color of your urine when you pee. If it's clear, maybe a little yellow, you're probably well hydrated. If your urine is dark yellow or even kind of like brownish, all right, maybe a little orangey, you're definitely running behind on your fluids, and it's time to drink some more water, right? So just looking at the toilet after you pee is kind of like a poor man's way, every person's way, easy way to check your own hydration, all right? Now, reason number 2 that drinking water should be done every day is that you might be surprised by this, by drinking water can actually help you lose weight. Here's how it works. When you drink water, it actually lowers your appetite before a meal. Here's how this works. Whenever you're drinking water, right, here I have a little cup of water here. It's going down the hatch. And that water, if I kept on drinking it, would stretch out the walls of my stomach. Okay? And your stomach has these things called stretch receptors. So they're sensitive to how stretchy the wall is. And when they're activated, because your water's been stretching out the stomach wall, that stretch receptor in your stomach tells your brain that you've got food, something occupying your stomach. So your brain then goes, all right, well, probably eating. Let's slow down the appetite. All right. So when you drink water, your pace of eating and the amount that you're going to feel like eating will go down as well. Now, if you're consuming less calories, you're eating less, maybe eating more slowly, then that's going to help you lose weight. All right. And that's going to improve your metabolism. So another reason that you actually should drink water. Now, let me just tell you about that part of it though. Here's how you put this in action. This is what I would recommend. Before a meal, if you want to use water as kind of a lever to lose some weight, have a tall glass of water, just put it right in front of you. And before you eat, drink about half that glass of water, all right? Before you fork your food, drink about half that tall glass. And then when you eat, don't wolf your food. Eat it slowly, all right? First, drinking that half cup of water will stretch your stomach out. It'll signal to your brain that you've got stuff in your stomach, slow down your appetite. And then when you actually eat the food slowly, it actually is going to give your stomach, when it's actually getting food in it, time to be able to signal to your brain with a hormone called leptin that it's time to slow down the appetite because we've got food in it, right? So there's two different ways. One is tricking your body into thinking you actually have food, and the other one's actually having food, but it takes a little while for your stomach to signal your brain. So that's why never wolf your food. Now, I know a lot of people are used to eating super fast. Think about those healthiest cultures in the world, the traditional Mediterranean diet and also the traditional Asian diet. People are eating together. They're taking their time to eat. They're eating with, they're talking. They're savoring their meal. That's actually the best way to actually control your appetite. All right. It gives time for your stomach to signal your brain. Reason number 3 that you should drink water every day. Water helps flush toxins. Now, let me explain to you. Whenever you drink water, it goes into your gut. All right. I'm going to do it right now. Goes right down. Water absorbed from the gut, okay, from your stomach and your intestines right into your bloodstream. And once it's in your bloodstream, right, you've got more liquid in your bloodstream, you've got more blood volume in your bloodstream. That fluid has got to get filtered. Now, the filtering takes place in 2 locations. The first location is an organ. It gets filtered in your liver. Your liver actually is your body's detox organ. So the water gets filtered right out of there, okay? Anything that you flush through that water into your liver is going to get filtered, all right? So you're actually pushing more liquid right through your detox system when you drink water. And the second place that water gets filtered is in your kidneys. Now, your kidney, which is in the shape of like a kidney bean, all right, located in your back, lower back, all right, on both sides of your spine. These are the filtering mechanisms of your body. You have a swimming pool that has a filter in it. That's what your kidney actually does. The more water you drink, the more filtering takes place, because at the end of the day, the kidney helps to balance the amount of water that's in your bloodstream as well. So think about the sink that you, like your kitchen sink, you fill it with water. The more water you have, the more there is to drain, and the more pressure there is to drain the sink faster. This is also going to help flush toxins out of your body. So one is that you're putting the amount of fluid in your body through your liver, which is a natural detox machine. And the other one is that you're flushing the water right through your kidney, and the kidney actually releases toxins and things right out through the glomeruli. These are the little filtration units in your kidney, and then you just pee it right out, okay? Reason number 4 you should drink water every day is that it keeps your kidneys working in good shape. Now, as I just explained, water that you drink helps flush your kidney, and the kidney needs to be constantly flushed in order to be able to stay in shape. I don't know if you have a bathroom in a house, maybe that doesn't get used very often, or maybe an extra house you have somewhere, a vacation home or something, or an apartment building. If you don't flush that toilet, eventually the plumbing is going to get rusty, it's going to get flaky and crusty and dry out. And then eventually the plumbing is not going to be working well. Same deal with your kidney. Your kidney needs to be constantly flushed in order to stay in good shape. Use it or lose it, basically. And plus, your kidney does not like to be dried out. So that's why dehydration is really bad. If you got stuck in a desert someplace and had no water, all right, and you crawled around, in addition to actually being parched and drying your blood volume out and your brain out, eventually your kidneys would fail as well. So drinking enough water replenishes your body with liquid, and then your body will flush that water out through your kidneys, and you keep your kidney in good shape by, frankly, giving them a workout. So think about your kidney as part of the plumbing system. In order for your plumbing to work well, it needs to have liquid water running through it in order for the pipes to stay clean, for the pipes to stay intact. So basically, you're just, taking a shower every day, flushing the toilet, running the sink. That's what's happening to your kidneys, is you're using and exercising the flushing capacity. All right. Now, reason number 5 that you should drink water every day. Water keeps your mind sharp. All right. So if you're surprised by that, you shouldn't be. Your brain is 75% made out of water. All right. And in order for your brain to work, now your water, 75% water, but the rest of it are neurons. These are basically like an electrical system wired inside your skull with nerves that are firing continuously. Now, you probably know this, but the brain has 2 lobes to it, the left lobe and the right lobe. Each lobe is packed with neurons, and it sits on your skull, kind of like on a platter. And then you've got the hindbrain going right behind it, all right? And that's actually goes right down at the very end into your spinal cord, all right? The spinal cord goes right up into the base of the brain that way. This is actually packed with neurons, electrical wiring. And in order for the electricity to be running smoothly, the brain can't be dried out. It has to be kind of like a sponge. It's got to be nice and moist in order for all those cells, those nerve fibers that have to connect perfectly and communicate with each other. In order to be able to be that, to do that, they have to be hydrated. Now, studies have shown that when the brain gets dehydrated, guess what happens? You lose your attention span, right? People who are like out in the desert, they can't focus anymore. Affects memory as well. And, the bottom line is that it's pretty easy to get behind in your liquid. And this, by the way, happens to elderly people if they're, they don't have a caretaker or a family member who's actually watching out for them. It's easy to get behind drinking water, having liquid in your body. And then, then their brain gets relatively dehydrated and their attention span gets worse and their memory gets worse, and you get more concerned over their state of mind, and do they have dementia? Or if they have dementia, dehydration actually will make things even worse, all right? Now, so how is it that water actually plays a role for your nerves, right? I mean, if it's really electrical circuits, you put water in it and short out the circuit. It doesn't happen because the nerves are insulated, but the water in your brain contains an electrolyte called sodium, right? I know you probably think of sodium in terms of high blood pressure, but there's another role of sodium, which is that it keeps the electricity running well in your nerves. And you need sodium for your nerves to have the current for normal brain function. You dry out the brain, the electrolytes like sodium shifts, all right, in and out of your brain tissue. And this can cause your brain to shrink and ultimately can cause brain damage, all right? Now, most people who drink some water and liquid, that's not going to be a problem. But what I'm trying to do is to give you a reason to think about the fact that drinking water regularly is actually very, very important. And in fact, if you are so depleted from water to the point that your brain isn't working well, you lose your attention span, your memory starts to go, guess what? At that point, your blood actually starts to get thick as well, because obviously you don't have enough water in your bloodstream, all right? And then this is actually quite a dangerous situation because blood clots can form when the blood is really thick. And if that happens in your brain, boom, you got real brain damage, all right? That's like a stroke. So, not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to tell you that there's a big continuum of having, being well hydrated and then eventually not paying enough attention and really, really getting hydrated. So absolutely key for your health to stay hydrated, not only for your kidneys, but for your brain as well. And if you want to keep your mind sharp and you want to have a good attention span, and you want to be able to have a good memory, got to stay hydrated. All right. Good news is that when your body's hydrated, your brain will be hydrated as well. Remember what I told you? Just check out the color of your pee, your urine. That'll actually tell you a lot. All right. So that's one of the ways that I do it. It's a super simple way. You don't need a wearable to figure that out. All right.
Hey there. Check this out. I've got a special resource on the 5 science-based ways to lose fat that I made just for you. And it's free. Many of us want to lose weight for our own reasons, but I'm here to tell you that there's an even better reason to lose harmful excess visceral fat for your health. And guess what? In this resource, I share the 5 things that anyone can do to lose harmful excess body fat. All you have to do is click the link below to access the resource. Now, back to the video.
Now, I got some extra pro tips for you when it comes to drinking water. All right. Number 1, even though you need to drink water all the time, always make sure you're drinking potable water. Potable means drinkable, safe to drink. And the reason is this. If the water isn't safe to drink, if it's contaminated with bacteria, and one that we in medicine always think about, like in the emergency room, if you drank E. coli, all right, which comes from feces and contaminated water, all right, when you drink that, E. coli gets in your system, you're going to get sick. And one of the things that's going to happen is you're going to have diarrhea, all right? And when you have diarrhea, you really lose a lot of water. So you don't want to actually drink water that might be contaminated with a bacteria. And by the way, in that same situation, you're losing water through diarrhea. You might not be able to find clean water to drink easily, all right? So this is actually a concern, not for most people, but if you're traveling on vacation in areas where water is known not to be safe to drink, that's actually where you need to watch out. You might want to bring your own container of water, make sure that you have your own way of being hydrated. And there are these little kits where you can take dirty water and filter them and purify the water so you can drink it again. All right. Now, one thing that a lot of people do is take plastic bottles of water, right? Bottled water. That's become so common these days. I'm actually going to tell you not to drink out of a plastic bottle. And the reason is that we now know that plastic, like a water bottle, will shed microplastics right into that water. We're consuming plastics. You know that recent studies have shown that the typical person in a country like the United States will consume so much plastic in the week, it adds up to about a credit card's worth of plastic. Now, the plastic doesn't only come from water bottles. It comes from packaged food. It comes from toothpaste. It comes from skin cream. It comes from shampoo. All these things, wind up getting little bits into our body. So we're actually consuming a lot. It used to be that we didn't think that was going to be a problem, or at least we didn't know that it was a problem. But recent studies have now shown that microplastics that we eat can be found in our blood. It can get into our brain. No doubt about it, plastic in your brain is not good for you. In fact, there was a study that actually showed you can measure, on a scale, the amount of plastic that someone has by comparing the weight of a brain on a scale from somebody who didn't consume a lot of plastic versus somebody who consumed a lot of plastic. It tips the scale, which is clearly not good. We've also found microplastics in our, not only in the bloodstream, but in our blood vessels. And specifically blood vessels that get narrowing and they get clogged, right? Cholesterol, lipids. This is cardiovascular disease. The plastic can get embedded into those clogged walls as well. And in fact, one study actually showed that if people had plastic stuck into these plaques inside the blood vessels, their chances of having a fatal heart attack was 4 times higher, or heart attack or stroke, if they had it compared to people who didn't have the plastic embedded. Do we understand exactly what the plastic is doing? Nope, it's a correlation, but that's enough for me not to want to actually drink water out of a plastic bottle. We've also found plastic in testicles. It's actually even found in semen. And get this, men, if you're listening to this, or women, if you want to actually share something with a guy, they actually even found microplastic studding the tissue of a penis. All right. So this is all coming from, all the plastic around us. So I'm encouraging you guys, everyone listening to this, to cut down or cut out the amount of plastic that you use that you eat from, plastic packaging, but especially water bottle. Because think about it, like this pack, you know, how long it's been sitting there with the plastic leaching into the water, all right? Now, one more thing, and this might be the most important benefit of drinking water itself. You get to hydrate. Drinking water will help you swap out other things that you might drink as beverages. So this is not a pro tip exactly. It's a real common sense tip. Look, you might be thirsty. So what are you going to do? You're going to reach for a soda, right? No. Or juice, sugar sweetened juice. No, don't do that. If you drink water, you're going to be cutting out. You're going to be quenching your thirst, but not actually doing it with sugar sweetened beverage, whether it's soda or juice, and not a diet soda either. Now, regular soda, not good for your health. You probably heard me talk about this before, but typical can of soda has, regular soda has up to 9 teaspoons of added sugar in it, right? You came to my house and I wanted to offer you something to drink, and I gave you an empty cup and I put in 9 teaspoons of cane sugar. And I'm like, here, drink that. You're going to say, no way. That's disgusting. I'm not going to do it. And yet that's what's in a can of soda. So, right? So you don't want to be overloading your metabolism, having those extra empty calories in order to be able to quench your thirst, when a cup of water actually will do it just fine. All right. Now, the other thing about diet soda is because diet soda will contain artificial sweeteners, sucralose, aspartame, that kind of a thing. All right. And these artificial sweeteners have actually been shown now to damage and alter our gut microbiome. Our gut microbiome, healthy gut bacteria, very important for health. Our gut bacteria lowers inflammation, boosts our good, healthy immunity, helps us heal from the inside out. It right sizes and streamlines our metabolism, including our insulin sensitivity, how well our glucose gets absorbed into our body, into our muscles, and stored away in our fat. And a good gut microbiome, healthy microbiome, text messages our brain and helps to release social hormones that actually make us feel better and puts us in a better mood. So you don't want to be messing with that, all right? That's one of the reasons why artificial sweeteners really, in my mind, you should like really try to avoid those at all costs. So water, a much better choice than commercial fruit juice or sodas, regular or diet. So drink water to be healthy. I hope you learned something new from this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Dr. Lee out.
Hi there. If you enjoyed watching this video, I know you'll love the next one. Stay here and check it out, and I'll see you there.